Hi, I'm Ayushi, a global brand marketer and a content creator. Welcome to the Note to Self podcast. This podcast is all about helping you find and love your true self in order to grow to your fullest potential unapologetically. Hey! Welcome to episode 2 of Note to Self. I'm your host Ayushi and I'm truly grateful and honestly super excited because of all the love you guys showered on the first episode. Last time we spoke about embracing and evolving with change, and if you're new here, go ahead and give that a listen. So back to today's episode, we are talking about something I'm sure all of us experienced this year in one way or the other. We're talking about self-doubt and overcoming that very thought of self-doubt to become our true, fearless selves, nothing less than bright rays of sunshine. Today, I have a very personal story to share about self-doubt and how it held me back for the longest time. But before that, let's talk about how exactly self-doubt manifests and what it's actually taking away from you. Let me tell you one thing about self-doubt. There is no special thing about self-doubt. There's nothing extraordinary about it. There's nothing extraordinary that causes it. It is a part and parcel of being human. And it should be. Having no self-doubt can be outright dangerous for us. But if left unchecked, it can consume us and hold us back from the very actions that would have changed our lives for the better or served the people around us. I have seen far too many capable and talented people sell themselves short because of the fear that they don't have what it takes. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, oh no, but I never experienced self-doubt, well, here's the truth. It creeps up in the tiniest of forms which go unidentified, and one day you realize you're not who you used to be. We don't pick up the phone and make the call. We don't extend the invitation. We don't raise our hand for promotion. We don't take a business decision. We don't say yes. We don't say no. We don't say enough. We don't move. And all of this because of that slight self-doubt we let grow in our heads. Speaking of which, I remember being consumed by self-doubt when I first started out in the content marketing industry. I was 22 and I had just enrolled for an internship that required me to travel across Delhi in search of street food that has been around for decades. Well, that was the fun part. I would eat amazing food and talk to the vendors about their work. The doubt creeped in when I had to come home and write an article about everything the vendors had told me for a popular website. The articles were going to be read by thousands of people and they'd have my name on it. Imagine my horror. The people who personally or professionally know me today know that I churn out articles within minutes now. But back when I started, I felt paralyzed. I couldn't think of a single sentence without asking my brother for help over and over again. And this went on for the first few articles. If you met my brother today, he'd probably tell you that he wrote the first article for me. Now, such consuming self-doubt can have the smallest of origins, or it can have many. For me, I believe it came from seeing my brother write novels and my mother paint like it's second nature to them. I kept telling myself that it was them who had all the creative talents and I had none. And it wasn't until my brother blatantly denied to help me any further. It was wrong on my part to expect him to go on helping me, knowing that he was in 12th grade and was swarmed with his own assignments at the time. Well, at least that gave me the much needed push I needed to start writing on my own. And it's safe to say that I got over my self-doubt, got good at writing, and made a career out of it. So that was my story. And I know, I didn't actually tell you how I overcame the doubt and fear that held me back for so long. I actually wanted to structure it in a way so that I can tell you that you can listen to it multiple times over if need be, and implement it in your life. So, here are the 4 takeaways I have for you from my own process that helped me become fearless and move forward. But before that, I want you to know that all this I'm telling you today doesn't mean that I don't have any more self doubts. I do. I doubt myself every now and then whenever I'm starting something new. But this is the process that I'm going to tell you right now that I always apply to get over the doubts I feel. So, the first step in the process of overcoming self doubt is actually embracing the doubt as a part of us being human. When we first think about that goal we would like to achieve or that change we will make in our lives, we are going to face self doubt. Just know that self doubt is there to protect us from the humiliation of falling flat on our faces. Like I said earlier, it is a part and parcel of being human, and befriending the inner critic in ourselves is far better than beating up on it. Embracing self doubt helps us reclaim the power it has held over us for years. We are human, we will make mistakes, and we will doubt ourselves. What actually matters the most is what we do next. And that brings me to the second point: doubt the doubt. The doubt is always going to exist, but the more we understand it, the more we move forward in life. Self-doubts are just fears that prevent us from losing, but the irony is that self-doubt is the very reason we lose out on what we could have gained from the attempt. It's time to doubt our doubts. Doubts are not the truth. Every time a new doubt springs up, we must challenge it and ask ourselves, what if the opposite were true? What if instead of failing, we succeeded beyond our imagination? If we are going to doubt anything in our lives, anything about ourselves, we should be doubting our doubts. That brings us to step 3, taking action. Understanding and challenging our doubts is all good and done, but what next? One simple thing I have learned from my own struggles with self-doubt is that once I build the courage to go in the opposite direction of the doubt and take action, the doubt seems to slowly disappear. And it really doesn't matter if I fail or succeed. The action builds confidence, and the confidence then leads to more action. So you see, it is a wonderful, virtuous cycle. All you need to do is take action that once. Step 4, positive affirmations. Now, on to the final and the most important step of all, affirmations. If we can take one step towards changing our habits of self-talk, it should be to include self-affirmations. We and no one else need to remind ourselves of how good we are at what we already do. Reminding and praising ourselves for our own accomplishments is a simple activity that rewires our subconscious in the long run. However, one simple thing we must remember is that if we don't take action, affirmations won't make sense in the long run. So now that brings us to the end of episode 2. This was a topic very close to my heart, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate. I hope it truly helps you in overcoming your doubts and fears. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Don't forget to share this podcast with your friends and family. Let's reach more people and change the way they think about themselves. Thank you once again for listening to Note to Self. I'm Ayushi, and I will talk to you next week.